Good morning, everybody. It is another beautiful day, and I'm here only 15 minutes later than my normal weekend time. Here for basically coffee and hanging out with you guys. This is my hanging out stream. Hey, Passaic, another glorious day on Torrell. Yes, it is. All hail Yub Tub. We'll watch stream for food. Excellent. Hey, 314 Dragon. Death by Touch. Kedron. Conrain. I hope that email reply to you was satisfactory, Kedron. I just basically grabbed the first thing that came to mind in reply. But it was a good question. I love the idea of combining things. How's things in New Zealand? Things are great, Richard. Although I've pulled a muscle in my back just because I'm old. What's up? It's always good to see you too, Anthony. That's true. How is everyone? I agree, Kidron. How is everybody doing? So, I wanted to talk with you guys about Halloween and about me making a Halloween monster. Delicious methods. So I've got here my plan was to create a homebrew beholder dragon. And I was wondering if I should use the existing beholder dragon listing that I found online that's very good actually, or whether I should make up something new. And honestly, I don't think I can improve on this one at all. It's a challenge rating 15. Essentially a dragon with extra eyes and stuff. It's got a beholder sort of head and draconic sort of features, but it's got a dragon body. My original idea, for some reason, was a Hydra beholder sort of thing. So it had multiple heads as well as having beholder sort of heads on the end of them. A beholder dragon flayer. Cool. Yeah, you're into it? Because this thing, it's a large aberration, it's neutral evil, as opposed to chaotic evil. It's got armor class 18 and 179 hit points, flight of 80 feet, climb of 80 feet, interestingly. Intelligence of 17, which is pretty up there for a dragon, but not as super high. It's strength of 23. So it's not as powerful physically as like a red dragon or anything like that. It's got blind sight, dark vision, passive perception. Doesn't have true sight. It's got immunity to fire, but no other damage immunities or even resistances. It's got its anti-magic cone as per usual. It's got legendary resistance because it is a legendary creature. Multi-attack of you can use its frightful presence. Makes its 3 attacks, 1 with its bite and 2 with its claws. Plus, it's got a banishing breath weapon. Recharge 5 to 6. The dragon exhales a dimensional rift in a 90-foot line that's 5 feet wide. Any creature that fails a DC 18 charisma saving throw, so really hard to save against that, or be banished. So all that's left in the field is like a bard and a sorcerer, or be banished. And the beholder dragon uses its breath weapon again. If it uses its breath weapon again, any creature that was banished comes back, and a whole new bunch of people are banished. And of course it's got its eye rays. There seems to be a typo in the way that the eye rays have either that or I've missed out a bit. So it's got all the usual beholder eye rays: fear, slowing, innovation, telekinetic, sleep, petrification, disintegration, and death. So Shadow Hydra Beholder Dragon Lich. Hey AJ, what do you think about casting verbal spells underwater and you don't speak Aquan? Well, obviously that's problematic. Yeah. essentially, you can do it as long as you can draw breath somehow. So if you've got some means of breathing underwater, then when you speak underwater, you can cast the spells. Yeah. The other question is like, can you do it in a vacuum? Can you do it where you can't make any sound at all? Does just mouthing a word count? Because underwater, when you exhale, you can still make noise. It just doesn't travel very far. Bubbles still make noise. So I do think that you can actually cast spells underwater as long as you've got some means of breathing, or if you've held your breath and you've got enough breath to get off one spell. Yeah. So that's my thoughts. Purely sort of practical. Is that basically Tiamat? Yeah, kinda. Well, like, yeah. This is just a basic combination of two creatures into one thing. So its head has been replaced with mostly beholder features, but it's still basically just a dragon with a beholder head. It's not quite up to the standard of aberration that I would expect. It's just not. This is a half-assed beholder dragon. I'd go the full, like, creepy. A different dragon per head. Yeah. I like the idea of each dragon having it being a hydra, and each head has an eye beam attack, but it still just looks like a really messed up dragon. It doesn't have some of the eyes might be stalks, but it doesn't have that anti-magic field, maybe. Or its breath weapon is an anti-magic field. Hey, Andy M, thanks for the sub. Yeah, you've got a lot of watching to do. Keep up with the idea for the Beholder Dragon? Yeah, I like it. Hey, Galdoon. Galdoon. Nice to see you too, man. My version. Yeah. Each head has cyclopean eyes. Yeah. Could do. Just one eye per dragon head, and it's got an eye beam. Would they have different breath weapons, do you think? Hey, Mick. Lots of new people today. Yeah, so do you think it should have like an eye beam attack and a breath weapon attack for each different head? And have 10 heads to represent the 10 eye stalks of Beholder kind? Or would it have one giant eye in its chest, and each of its heads be a representative of the different eye stalks' powers? So you've got a death head, a disintegration head, a sleep head. How's that sound? An illustration, yeah, well, I was thinking about illustrating it. It would take me longer than I've got until Halloween, though. So maybe I should just take it at my own pace and not rush out to make a video on Halloween like every other YouTuber. Because here in New Zealand, we kind of sideways celebrate Halloween in conjunction with the States, but it's not All Hallows Eve here. It's the opposite side of the year. So it's going into summer here, not winter. So Halloween is just weird. It's weird. And Christmas in summertime is weird too, but we're used to it. So each head is an eye, and its torso's got a giant mouth. I like that idea. That is terrifying. Also, how do we handle its flight? Does it still hover, or does it need wings? Or is it hover assisted with wings? Can someone get me the age of a young dragon, please? I think it's about 300. Depends on the species. We're chatting about a beholder dragon, Mick. So a combination of the traits of a beholder or aberration and a dragon. And at this stage, it looks like it's definitely going to be some sort of a hydra dragon with multiple heads. So like a Tiamat spawn Hover with malformed wings. Oh, that's a good idea. I like that. I'm going to write some of these. I'm going to jot these ideas down. So hover with malformed wings. It's got a giant jaw, more in its torso. Would it have a giant eye in its torso as well? Or just eyes in its eye stalks, which are its heads, and they've all got. Would the heads have jaws as well, of fangs? Yeah, anti-magic breath weapon. I like that idea too. So that way it's not a sustained sort of thing, and that banishing breath is just too powerful. Well, it's too disruptive to an encounter. Leonaean Hydra with beholders for heads. Yeah, basically. Yeah, 9 different breath weapons and 9 different eye beams, and 1 more beam on the chest. So what should the if we're dealing with the breath weapon, would the breath weapon come from the chest and basically just be a blasting cone coming out from the middle? And what would its central eye power be if it had one in the chest? Eye stalks with mouths, yeah, I agree. Head stalks, we'll call them. 1 eye and mouth. Eye power. Open its mouths on its many heads to reveal the eyes. Oh, that's great. Yep, that's definitely going in there, Mick. That's definitely going in there, Alfie. that's a fantastic idea. Yeah, that art's gonna that's gonna look good in a picture. Tail, the tail would basically be a tentacle, I reckon. So we're thinking anti-magic breath weapon from a huge jaw in the middle of the chest that just sort of opens up, like its chest torso opens up, and it just blasts out a breath weapon, and its central eye. What does its central eye do? Polymorph? Disintegration ray, but every time it's used it needs to put in eye drops. Unless we did something weird with the tail, like it was a detachable separate creature, like a parasite. Does it need a tail? Not really. Body's central eye power magics within that cone cannot be disrupted or dispelled in any way. So so an anti-magic beam. Wow, I don't think anybody's ever thought of that before. So it's got an anti-magic breath weapon, and the central eye is either polymorph, or the central eye could cause temporary insanity. Yeah, could possibly be. Oh, so like it's dragon fear. So it's got a central eye that takes care of the draconic fear effect, maybe. Maybe the middle eye could have a Medusa gaze. Well, it's got a petrification head. Central eye effect should have either Avada Kedavra power or corrode enemy's soul. I assume this is an artificial creation of some insane wizard. Cough, cough, Dr. Nobody. Possibly. It could. There's actually a vast array of different... Yub Tub! There's actually a vast array of different beholders. A lot of them come from Spelljammer, actually. In fact, there's a gigantic space beholder that eats asteroids. That doesn't have Yeah, it's a Beholder Dragon mix. And we're coming up with yeah, a terrifying combination. It's tentacle tail, anti-magic breath weapon. It's got a maw in its torso that exhales anti-magic. It's got a central chest eye that possibly polymorph, possibly magic enhancement. So it would be like any of its eye powers can't be get saved against with disadvantage while you're in the central beam. Would that be something? And a tentacle tail, I was thinking. Controlled polymorph is pretty potent, yeah. Temporary polymorphism. And it would have the same sort of saving throw as the petrification. Petrification, in my experience in 5th edition, rarely works. That would be physically painful, I think. Arrogant. Central Eye lets it cast legendary actions. How so? Oh, okay. So anyone caught in the breath weapon has disadvantage on saves against magic. And then still have the central eye be an anti-magic cone. That's a good idea. That actually works very well for an encounter. Yeah, because the Dragon or Beholder weren't enough. No. It's definitely an aberration, as it classified as an aberration. Claws on the tentacles. So its legs are tentacles instead of feet. Flinging tail spikes. Causing insanity. Random insanity. Do Cambions age? Oh, that's a good question. Yes, they do slowly. As far as I know. Cambions are quite variable. It depends on who their sire is. In books, I've seen Cambions generally live for a very long time, like hundreds and hundreds of years, much longer than normal mortal creatures. And I think they might possibly age, or generally they just come to a sticky end. So you could say that they're effectively immortal until they're killed, if you wanted to. Spikes on back glow with status effect inflicting bursts of light. Oh yeah. Short legs but still with claws. A controlled polymorph with an ability to mind control the target as well. Yeah. You can have a domination effect. Its overall body is like a mutated hydra, sort of stunted with all of its... Because it doesn't need to eat the same sort of thing, but it's like, yeah. It's like all muscled up on the front. Give the central eye confusion. So, are we going with a magic enhancing breath weapon? I don't like the idea of I do like the general idea of a corrosive sort of effect flying X-Blade, but I don't like the idea of this corroding the soul, changing alignment thing. Because nobody uses alignment really these days, as much as they used to. There's no in-game effects for alignment change. Yub Tub, he basically looks like the demonetization symbol on YouTube. That's what he looks like. Hey, Kairos. Hey, Dragonlord. Technotron. Central Eye gives monster a pool of legendary actions till it is removed or killed. So, okay. So destroying the central eye also limits its legendary actions. So its ability to manipulate reality and just go, nope, I save against that. So it blinks its central eye and shifts reality. The belly has a grapple smother effect and it oozes pink slime. Everything's immortal until it's killed, said the barbarian. True. What hurts you, Conan? Only pain. Yeah. Bites from the central mouth could drain levels or just inflict levels of exhaustion. Bite causes exhaustion. Are you talking about that noise in the background? That's birds. It's because I've got my window open because it's kind of hot outside. And I'm not getting up to close the window because my back is messed up today and it takes me half an hour to get across the room. You'll notice that I'm not moving much at the moment. They're doing their job. It's breeding season over there, so they're doing the business. They'll quieten down after a minute. Eyeballs. Mutations. Oh, I like that. A mutation effect. Yeah, that's that. There's just one particular male guinea fowl which is making all of the noise. The others, that's the one that's going doing the whole. He's like the beta male in the group, so he's always like. Rah! He's got a little insecurity complex going on. Thanks, Kidron. I basically just got to not do much. It gets better during the day, but like first thing in the morning when you first get up, you're just like, nope, I'm not doing anything today. And then after a couple of hours or so, it's a lot better. Oh, that's good to hear, Stank Shane. Yeah, that's where baby birds come from. It's exactly the opposite of England, Mick Dunn. So where it is PM for you, it is AM for me. Soy bird here. Oh, James, what am I doing a review of? Sorry, I missed that. It's probably got Beholder Kin and Mutant Kobold minions, possibly. So lesser versions of both. Putrid wings. Initial whiff is pink slime, yummy. So second inhale is a disadvantage because mustard gas or something. I do like the ideas of. Hey Sam, I do like the idea of putrefying wing gust. Putrefying wing gust. Because it should be kind of disgusting. Oh no, it's just a muscle. It's just a muscle pull, Tracy. It's not. I don't have any spine problems. It's quite understandable that I got a sore muscle in my back because I helped with a charity book auction thingy, and I moved tons and tons of boxes of books. That didn't actually cause the problem. That just caused me to move slightly differently. Which, when I bent down to pick up and move some furniture, pulled a muscle in my back, in the lumbar region of my back. Yeah, there's Kenku in the background. Kenku and Aarakocra are having an argument. Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th Edition. Oh yeah? See, they've quietened down. They've gone about their business. They roam all around the place. They're free roaming, so they come up here in the morning and generally have a little soap opera out there in the orange trees, and then they go down around the Feijoa trees, and then they go down to the kiwi fruit orchard and peck around and do their thing, do their business. Sure, James. Yeah, I am a Warhammer fan. Never really got into the Warhammer Fantasy, but if you've got good mutation tables, I'm always keen. A psychic scream that inflicts fear or insanity, perhaps. Well, we've got insanity as a general theme, where it might be a bite that causes mutation or insanity. The central eye is linked to its legendary actions. Its bite causes exhaustion. Maybe the tail's got a bite that causes exhaustion. It's got a tentacle tail with a maw on it that bites and causes exhaustion. Its central maw in the torso has got a magic enhancing breath weapon. I like that idea because that ties in really nicely and makes the eye stalks that much scary. Its central eye still causes anti-magic because that's a common theme with all beholders. I don't. The problem is I don't really trust medical professionals because every time I go and see them, they say, "Oh wow, that's quite unusual." Like everything about me doesn't make any medical sense to them. So how can they help me if I'm just a test case or some sort of medical anomaly every time I see them? I said no. Oh come on. I mean, I'm not knocking chiropractors as a general profession or anything, but there's nothing wrong with my spine. It's muscles. So I would, maybe a massage therapist or a sports therapist. Oh yeah, well this isn't a work related thing, so Call of Cthulhu for Halloween. Summons a swarm of pseudo-gazers, pseudo-dragons mixed with gazer. Ah. Hey Jay, will you ever do a video about any homebrew stuff like monsters with made lore of magic items, certain requirements or tricks? Yeah, I mean, I do from time to time, Abdullah. So Sam, this stream is basically talking about a Halloween monster. Yeah, dragon fear for sure. Yeah, all true dragons have got a dragon fear effect. It could spontaneously dream minions into reality. Interesting. What about if one of the heads exhales eyes, floating eye spawn? It's alive. Psychic insects, like it's got parasites on it that eat sanity. It's possible. Carlos, mixture of both. I'm well known. Like the reason why this channel is called the Mighty Glue Stick is because of my originally it was a terrain crafting channel. I also do miniatures. I know it's rude of them, Tracy, but I can understand. Like it's just weird that I look normal, but every time they hook me up to any sort of machine, they're like, that's weird. Like I'm always on one spectrum of some chart or other, like the far end of a spectrum of something or other. Ah, your nerve conductivity is 0.7 times faster than I've ever seen before. Oh, you don't get electric shocks, you say? Yeah, it's more like a Hydra dragon. It's a true dragon Hydra beholder cross with, and we're designing the abilities of its various features, physical features and things. Breath weapons affected by anti-magic? No, not generally speaking. Because once they leave the mouth of the dragon or dragonborn, they're a purely physical effect. Exhales eyes, yeah. X poison. It exhales X poison. Haha. That'd be funny. It's like it breathes, everyone dies. Do we get a saving throw? No. No, I'm afraid not. Yeah, it's the minion that Big Bad dreamed into reality. That's why it's so true. This is a beholder dreaming about how terrifying dragons are. It's like, what if I was a dragon? Dreams this thing into existence. Dream Wraiths from 2nd edition Dragonlance could find stats online to update it. Actually, there's a shadowy type Wraith creature for that's in the Creature Codex. There's a number of shadow. We go to the back, creatures by type. I've been flipping through this book a bit, but I really haven't dug into it yet. So there's a whole heap of different dragon types in here. There's War Wyverns, Piazza, Ouroboros, a Herald of the Great Worm, Herald of Fire, Drake, Spider Drake, Skull Drakes, Polluter Drakes, Pack Drake, Moon Drake, Forest Drake, Fade Drake, Bathhouse Drake, the Wasteland Dragon, the Light Dragon, Clockwork Dragon, Drakator, Azitahaka, Ankau Soul Seeker, and the Ankau Soul Herald. They're all draconic. And in Shadow, it might actually be into Undead, I think. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to getting into that Undead Phoenix as well. So there's shades and things. No dragon can contain axe poison, that's true. No living creature can use axe poison as a breath weapon or blood or anything like that. Possibly a golem, though, filled with axe poison. So our idea behind a breath weapon is certainly breathing eye foam. Breathing eye spawn. And so we've got tail bite that causes exhaustion. Breathing, its central maw is capable of breathing eye spawn and also a magic enhancing breath weapon. Its central eye is still anti-magic. Destroying the essential eye destroys its legendary actions. It hovers. It's got malformed wings. It's got short legs with wicked claws, poisonous claws, venomous claws. Reverse XP breath. A rash of eye hiccups. Good evening, Brandon. I do like the idea of its bite. Any physical attack from this thing can also cause physical mutations. Cut off an eye stalk and grow a new one with a different ability. Regrows eye stalks. Its heads are eye stalks. Eye heads. Like a proper Hydra. You are that golem. Hey, Jibble. A death tyrant Dracolich. Dispels everything like Dispel, but maybe even prevents casters cast above first level until start of the next turn. Yeah, that's taking away the agency of the spellcasters too much. I like where you're going with it though. See, I'm taking these ideas on board and I'm still doing the game balance and I'm thinking of it from the player's perspective on whether they could actually kill this thing or not. Oh, I've got to remake the video on the Bronze Dragon, Abdullah, because I had to delete it because of a copyright infringement. I had a Monty Python skit on the end of it. A bite or venom that causes permanent hit point damage. Well, hit point damage until a long rest, or having the poison cleared out of your system with some sort of anti-toxin or lesser restoration. Bleed out cause. I mean, that would be sufficient during combat to be quite difficult if you couldn't regain hit points through drinking potions and things until you had a lesser restoration or an anti-toxin. That would be sufficiently inconvenient during a fight. Darkness as a breath weapon. So a head that I'm going to put a subcategory here of heads. So we've got petrification, sleep, darkness, disintegration, mutation, insanity / domination, polymorph. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need 3 more. Hey Ricky. So for anybody who's just joined us, we're making a Beholder Hydra dragon. It might possibly have a torso that opens up and sticks you with ribs. Yeah, the damage is leveled for sure. Soul Golem. Petrification Limb. Yeah, it's got petrification, sleep, darkness, disintegration, mutation, insanity / domination, polymorph. I suppose traditionally it'd be telekinesis. What are the other ones? Telekinesis, cold, and fire, maybe? One of the eyes could heat metal. That's going in. Oh, that's terrifying. Rust? A rust eye beam? Yeah, the insanity head would be like that. +1 for rib sticking. Maybe if you cut an eye stalk off, it becomes its own small monster that crawls around. Yep. Stalk minions. It's a good idea. Shoots goblins out of its mouth. It's probably comparable. It's probably got an intelligence of like 15 maybe at the most. we're making a dragon that is dreamed up by a beholder. If the torso eats you alive, it gains your hit dice and class levels forever. The bookkeeping on that is not something that I would even attempt as a DM, but I like your idea. I agree, Robert. An eye that opens up like a mouth and sucks people close to it. Oh, telekinesis. Right, that's something we don't have in here yet. Got one more head that we need to fill. Fire that never goes out until there's a restoration or battlefield control and you have to dispel magic. Yeah. Hey, happy birthday, Lewis. Its skin is magic resistant. It probably is a little bit magic resistant. It does have it's got its breath weapon. It's got its central eye anti-magic cone. I think we'll leave it at that. Would it have regeneration? It's probably got regeneration, right? Like a proper Hydra. Frost breath. Yep. Poison. Poison beam. Yeah, I think a poison beam makes sense. Yeah, because the poison basically causes exhaustion. The poison condition is very similar to an exhausted condition. Yeah. So an innovation beam, essentially. Innovation. Okay. That's about it. So we have this ungodly horror that regrows its eye heads. When they get chopped off, they turn into stalk minions. It's got a tentacle tail that bites and causes exhaustion. It's got a head, which it's got 10 eye stalk heads where the jaw opens with an eye inside. So it's got one for innovation, one for telekinesis, one that causes heat metal, one that polymorphs its enemies, one that causes insanity and dominates them, one that causes mutations, one that causes disintegration, one that causes darkness, one that causes sleep, and one that causes petrification. It's got a putrefying wing gust, and from its malformed wings, but otherwise hovers. It's more in its torso has a magic enhancing breath weapon, and its central eye has a magic anti-magic beam, and destroying the central eye also destroys its legendary actions. I think that's pretty good. Now it needs a name. Oh god, run for your lives. Everyone give yourself $1. Necromantic breath, wow. A vulnerability ray. Well, the magic enhancing breath weapon is kind of a vulnerability effect. Yeah, this would probably be an abomination, right? Something designed to take down gods or primordials. Yub Tub. Shall we call it Yub Tub? I think we should. Mind reading. Has it got... Oh, it's got telepathy. It should have telepathy. Yeah, because how's it going to talk, right? Telepathic. Yub Tub. The Bahydra. It's a Bahydra. Yub Tub the Bahydra. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I definitely think it should be able to breathe out an eyeball swarm. We shall call it Tim. Well, it's got a natural hover mechanic, so it can sleep wherever it wants. Nightmare Dragon, yeah. Yub Tub, the Nightmare, should be his title. Or Yub Tub, the Terror from Beyond. Peeping Death. Yub Tub, the Slayer. Yub Tub, the yeah, he's Bahydron. Bahygon. Bahygon? What is the beholder that created it? Probably dead. Well, I mean, honestly. Jeff. We call him Jeff. Begoner. Day Terror Yub Tub. Will you be streaming the encounter with this monstrosity? Possibly. Any books or novellas on Beholder Society? Oh gods, why? Run away. Terror from Within. Bahydron. I do like Bahydron. Yub Tub the Bahydron. Oh, it's definitely an abomination. The beholder that made it is very sorry. Deuterion. The problem with lucid dreaming, that's true. The ancient sleeping horror Yub Tub, the Beheldragon of Nightmare. Yub Tubbeth. Each eye has its own name and wants to be addressed that way. Also great. Ah. So it's got sentient spines that grow from its body that seek to bury themselves in foes and cause horrific mutation. So they're kind of like rot grubs, maybe. They burrow into the heart of a creature or into the brain. So it shoots out spikes that if they hit you in the head... Hey, Adam. It causes permanent domination. It's getting worse and worse. Maybe every time it's encountered it should be a little bit worse. The beholder that made us now in therapy several dimensions away from it. True. The eyes argue who copied this content first. Yub Tub, the Cosmic Genocide. Yeah. Now, who wins the fight? The Bahydron or Demogorgon? Australians don't have sex, they mate. Oh, nice. Not too late. Wow, this has actually gone. We're actually past it, like getting on to an hour now already. We've got another 15 minutes to go. It says we haven't had any super chats. I don't care. This has been such a great stream. We have created a horror beyond all things. Lucas, we've just created Yub Tub, the Bahydron. So essentially, we just created a creature beyond all nightmares. All hail Orcus. So this thing possibly could be undead, and it wouldn't really change much about it, honestly. So we could make an undead version of this as well. Cockroach Dragon Magic Hybrid. Grass wins it, you reckon? I think Grass would avoid this thing like the plague. He would possibly seek a way to capture this thing and then set it loose in some sort of an arena full of his enemies, just to enjoy the show. But he wouldn't take it on personally. Not with a chance of physical mutation. So yeah, this is Yub Tub the Behydran, so it's Beholder Hydra Dragon that we have designed with all of its different physical effects and things. I'm going to draw a picture of this thing for sure, now that I've got a good idea of what it actually looks like. I'll probably publish this horrific thing. There'll certainly be a t-shirt available with the artwork of this thing on it. It's got regeneration. I think I'll give it regeneration 10. Or possibly 5. I mean, yeah. You want to be too demoralizing. The difficulty class of this thing is definitely over 15. This is in the 20 region. Tiamat wins by making it her ally. Or her lover. Hey Tracy! Thank you! Yeah. Oh, I'm going to enjoy drawing this for sure. I might even sculpt it as well. Give me something to do. I think I'm going to take it easy for a couple of days and just do some non-physically active things until I can heal my spine. My spine! Hey, yo AJ, what if it could regenerate like a troll and could spawn tiny copies of itself? Yeah, well, so it's Ice Stalk minions, I suppose, have the possibility of doing something like that. A Vampire Beholder Hydra with Outer Planar traits. Yep. There is a Vampiric Beholder. There's also a Mind Flayer Beholder, which is the Eyewitness. Hey, Kennick, thank you. Can he reverse the combustion of objects? I always love that kind of collateral fix. Reverse the combustion of objects? So uncombust them? How would that even work? Fletched javelins. You're not talking about the battle spikes, the darts, are you? That you throw over top and they land down on top of the enemy forces. Because those are quite wicked. You can carry them. They were a medieval weapon, I think, actually Scandinavian, possibly. So you carried them in your shield hand. So you're gripping a shield and you had these darts, and you would essentially, as you approached the enemy, you would throw them overhead like lawn darts, and they would come down on top of the enemy over the shield line. And they're quite wicked. If anybody's ever been hit by a lawn dart, you'd know what I mean. I don't know if it could regenerate its heads. Somebody had the idea of you could have a few heads on reserve, sort of thing. So if you chop off a head, another head will grow with a different power. I quite like that idea as well. So I might have some head options in there. So when you encounter this thing, have a table with a bunch of different heads, and it's got a random assortment of heads every time. How's that sound? So every time you use it, it would be quite different. Tiamat versus Behydran. You're waiting for it. Yep. Oh. Hey, William. Does it have some kind of vulnerability? Essentially, it's got no resistances, or it would be immune to the normal things that beholders and aberrations are immune to. But other than that, it doesn't have any great resistances and stuff. It's got regeneration. Plumbata. Okay. This child will be horrid and beautiful, yeah. Jarts, now in 6th edition. Jarts. Plumbata. Yeah, I like the idea of its eye stalks that get lopped off becoming minions, because it's essentially a head with it's a jaw with an eyeball in the middle of it. Ah, if a head regrows, the head minions already cut off would become jealous and try to cut off those new grown heads to reattach themselves. Wow, that's a good idea. Eye stalk minions are crazy. And disloyal. So, where does the intelligence in this creature lie? Could it in fact be like its torso is a slave to its eye stalks? So it's some sort of a mewling beast, and its eye stalk minions are constantly arguing with themselves and jostling to get things done. So it literally is a disorganized mess. It's like a colony of eye stalks on this thing. A deep fried turkey sandwich. Wow. Yeah, this beholder's gone broken. For sure. So we've created Yub Tub the Behydron, which is a Hydra Dragon Beholder cross. Well, it reproduces after a fashion, and like all beholders, it's got the capacity to dream into existence versions of itself. Michael, we're talking about the Yub Tub the Behydron, which is we've designed a beholder Hydra dragon crossbreed called Yub Tub. That is truly horrific. So it's got its eye stalks. Its heads, Hydra heads, are dragon maws that open up with a central eye inside. One's a petrification beam, one's sleep, one's darkness, one's disintegration, one's mutation. We've got an insanity domination one. We've got an unwilling polymorph, baleful polymorph. We've got heat metal, telekinesis, innovation, and we're thinking about making a random table with a few more on there, like cold and things like that, so that every time you encounter this thing, it's got a random assortment of eye heads. It regrows its eye heads. When they're chopped off, they become eye stalk minions that are crazy and actually try to rejoin the body, and will actually bite off other eye stalk heads to do so. It's telepathic. It has its central torso has got a huge maw that is capable of breathing out a spawn of eyeballs. It's also got a magic enhancing breath weapon that makes it anybody who's caught in that breath weapon have disadvantage against all rolls to save versus eye stalks or any other form of magic. It's also got a central eye, which is an anti-magic cone, as per usual. And it's got a tail, which is a tentacle, which bites, causes exhaustion, and its central maw causes exhaustion on a bite as well. In fact, any physical attack by this thing causes exhaustion. Does it have a wisdom rating? I'm sure it does. It's also got spines that grow from its body that shoot out, and they burrow their way through the body until they embed themselves in the brain, causing domination until they are removed or a lesser restoration spell is cast. And it's got malformed wings. It hovers, but it does have malformed wings that when it flaps them causes a putrefying wind blast. So that is what we made. Oh, it's also got regeneration. Its size would have to be huge, at least. Possibly gargantuan. Yeah, it's not designed to be an easy thing to fight, James. This is a terror. It's a god killer. It's a abomination. This is Behydra. It's called a Behydron. Going to require 6 level 20 players, methinks. I reckon maybe 5 level 15 to 16 level players would be able to handle this thing if they fight it real smart. Doesn't have any real defenses against ranged attacks. It doesn't have any real defenses against people with magic hitting it from all different angles. It doesn't have any overly It's like you could immolate this thing, for instance. Hey, Sean, thank you. I'm glad you like the name. Yub Tub is something I'd want to use in a game. Be good challenge. When are you going to do a video of the offspring of Bahamut? Oh, soon. There's all sorts of Tiamat spawn as well to cover as well. Yeah. I've got a few more dragons that are coming up actually. One I want to do soon is the Clockwork Dragon. Sounds a little more like Tharizdun's divine work, not Orcus. Yes, very much so. You're using it as a patron. That's a good idea. This is the sort of thing that you keep in shadow. Keep in shadow and you never reveal its true form until it's like, what is your patron? It's like, my patron is revealed, and this thing comes out of some sort of portal. And you're like, oh, it's worse than I could have possibly imagined. The stream needs more Orcus. Cerulean Seas campaign setting, if you haven't already, it's based on a flooded world, so it has underwater some pretty terrifying creatures in it. Oh, I'd like to check that out actually. I get a lot of requests from people, actually a few months ago I got a lot of requests from people to do more aquatic creatures. Equal to a small squad of inevitables, yeah. Would this thing be on Carceri? Absolutely. Yeah, we're still talking about the Beholder Dragon. Thanks, Smooge. I know my deities. The good, the bad, the chaotic, the mad. Hail Behydron. Hail Yub Tub. Squeak. Yep. No, I haven't done a video on plague lands and spell scars. Yeah, I want to see the stat block for this as well. Portal opens, dead memes pour out. Anyone commits the big die. The big die. Hey, Mithridates. Nice to see it. Oh, I bet. Yeah, Grayson is better than Orcus in purely physical form, obviously. Orcus has got a better singing voice. Well, for death metal. Yeah, I like this. This would be a great warlock patron. Definitely an old one type patron. The Beholder Hydra Dragon. The Behydron. I think it's impossible for this thing to become a god because all of the Ice Stalks have different personalities. So all of them would say, I am the true Yub Tub. You're all pretenders. The one true abomination. Yeah. What does the Behydron eat for breakfast? Whatever it wants. But can he dance? Probably. If he wanted to. But yeah, Orcus's tactic would be to get up on the dance floor and kill all contenders. And win through just being the last one standing. That's his answer to everything. Got a problem? Kill it. Make it your minion. Now it's not your problem anymore. It's your asset. How do you think this creature would be treated by the true Beholder race as an abomination? They would certainly hate and fear it. It would be seen as definitely not a true Beholder. But yeah, I would say they're probably smart enough not to take it on. Beholder Homeworld on Spelljammer? Not yet. I do know that there's a lot of Beholder stuff in Spelljammer, and I've got all the Spelljammer stuff, so yeah. My life is just constantly reading. I was reading about Glabruzu attacking a halfling before this. Spoilers. Each Eye Stalk is Well, what would they be? They'd be completely self-serving, so neutral evil, and the whole creature is chaotic evil. What does the bear ring have in its hoard? What? What's a bear ring? Gems or gold for the horde? Gems. Real question though. So, a planeswalker can cast plane shift at will. Are all mind flayers planeswalkers? Yeah, probably. I mean, when you think about it, mind flayers, that's kind of what they do. The one key point with mind flayers is the elder brains that they serve are actually cross-dimensional beings as well. They have a node of their brain meat in whatever dimension they're currently in, but they've also got an extra dimensional extension of brain meat, so they're actually much larger on the inside than they are on the outside, and they are technically a dead creature because those are non-living brains that are animated by psychic force. So the elder brains are cross-dimensional entities as well. So somewhere out there in the multiverse is flying piles of dead brain meat from formerly living elder brains that got killed. Yeah, Yub Tub vertagen. Yep, the Behydron. Oh, sorry, that was what you're saying. Where is it? Does the Behydron have its what does the Behydron have in its hoard? It's got former Ice Stalk minions, and it's probably got mutated kobolds. Mind Flayers are closer to Eldrazi. Yeah. Eldrazi are more like Gru from 4th edition. I mean, there's a lot of variation in Mind Flayers. So I suppose, yeah, because you've got Thune as well. So they're a little more like Phyrexian Mind Flayers. Do the Elder Brains feel walkers the same way all undead do? No. No, they don't. They're not technically undead. Eldrazi are Eldrazi. I don't think, yeah, they're quite deserving of their own place. What are we talking about? A flying X-Blade? Gluing gems together? I missed something there. Gems or gold for the horde? Yeah, Mind Flayers are a major spelljamming race as well, as are the Nyogi. Oh, that hurt the spine. Elder Brains are living beings, yeah. The thing is, they're living beings because they're psychically alive. But the meat from that makes up their brains are donated from dead Mind Flayers. So they're a conglomeration of brain meat. So technically they're more like a mutation, or they're more like a golem, a brain golem. In fact, they can make brain golems. So yeah, they transcend that sort of thing. Thank you, Warif. I need some good health. Thanks, Deadbeat Bert. Yeah, stick around, man. There's more to come. Yeah, tidbit. On that note, everybody, I am going to go and basically rest my spine and not do anything for the rest of the day. I've got books to read. But yeah, I need to take it easy. Poor old broken man, AJ. I think we've accomplished something truly horrible right now. How powerful is the Spelljammer? The Spelljammer vessel? Very powerful. In fact, am I going to be on Discord? Yeah, I probably will be. The Spelljammer is very much like Stargate Universe, how you've got that ship which is traveling through space. Spelljammer is a lot like that. So you can run that sort of campaign in the Spelljammer, almost verbatim. Yeah, I need to rest my elder brain. My spine brains. Yeah, I hurt my back. I'm not going to hang upside down. God, no. I'd have trouble doing that if my back wasn't sore. You're not that old unless you fart dust. Beer and sleep, yeah. I'll make myself a sandwich. Okay, everybody. I'll catch you later. It's been a good stream. I think we've accomplished some truly horrible things. Yub Tub, the Behydron, has been born. More to come, more artwork, more stat blocks. And I'll catch you all later.